Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it is time for the Revved Up sketch with me. I am going to be working on a page from our 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches book. We'll be working from page 14, and we'll make a double page layout and a card with this collection. It's going to be fun. So let's check it out. Here it is, the sketch on page 14, and we are actually, I guess we're kind of following it, but I am adding an extra photo on each page. So we're going to have 6 instead of just 2 here. For the base of both sides of our pages, I have pulled out the bike track paper, if you will, or one of the tracks. That's one of the things with this intro that confused me so much. There's a lot of tracks on this one. This is the one that has the browns and the blacks and the grays in it, and I was pretty deliberate about putting the mud look orange part of the page to the outside of the layout. So just so you can see that, that's where we're going with this. I kind of took a closer look at the page and figured that's where I wanted things to be. So we're going to start on the left side of the page here. For this one, I pulled out my gears punch as well as my stamping blade. So I have used my stamping blade on this 2-inch piece on both sides of it. The opposite side is the page with the light gray gears, and it's a tire tread, I believe is what this page was called. And I just flipped it over for punching the gears punch. Actually, what I probably did is I probably punched the gears punch first, and then I took off about 1/8 of an inch to get my stamping blade started, and then cut through 2 2-inch strips, one for each side of our page. And we're going to place this about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of our page because the page does have a lot of interesting color on it. And we're going to be bringing back in some of these colors throughout our layout. And it's nice to kind of see it on both sides. It's also nice to see both sides of our stamping blade that we took the time to cut as well. By going 1/4 inch over, it helps us get a little extra definition to show that. I'm going to use my repositionable tape on my my gears border here from this punch, and go ahead and place that down through the center of your tire tread. And then I have 3, actually I have 6 total of the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats. They're all with this brownish page that has a different tire tread on the back and the brown, so that we're using this lighter brown side up, if you will. And it's again, this is why I had to shoot the intro for this paper pack twice, because it's just a little bit more than some of our others. So we're going to have our 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats for this side of the page here. I also did pull out this all geared up 4 by 6 mat from our mat pack because it just was, it's too hard to resist. We're going to layer it onto one of our mats here. And that's going to give us a larger title for our page. Or if you want, you can cut your photo inside there as well. But just giving y'all an extra option this time. I think some people double mat all their photos, and I usually just use the single mat. So this is a way to show you how you can double mat your photos using one of our mats from our mat pack, but you can use it as that large title on the page, like I said as well, or just eliminate it and just have 3 larger mats on your page as well. So I'm going to go about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the page here. leaving about a half an inch in between the mats. And then this third one along the bottom here, with about a quarter of an inch from the bottom of the page and about a half an inch from the side. Looks like there's roughly an inch in between the page, or the upper and the lower mats. And then I'm just going to layer this one on. We'll have a quarter of an inch all the way around our 4x6 mat, because we have 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so we've got that extra quarter of an inch. I also pulled out one of our stickers and one of our embellishments from our motorcycle pack. We have 4 embellishment packs that came with this collection, and so I went with the motorcycle one on this one. I just thought it really fit nicely. And we are going to actually put foam squares on our motorcycle. I'm going to put our little dirt never hurt here. And foam squares for this one. A couple of our larger ones. You could use your foam tape on it as well, but I don't know if it's quite that necessary for this one. It's a larger embellishment, but not as large as some of the other ones that we've worked with. All right, so there is the left side of our page, all done already. And I'll show you the close-up of that border. You can see how it looks, where you can see just that interesting distinction with leaving that little quarter of an inch just on the edge of the page there. Pulling in the right side of my page, making sure I still have that more orangey section, I guess, if you will, on that right side here. I did another 2-inch border for this side of the page. And another one of our gears borders that I punched. This one is going to go a 1/4 inch over again. And flip this over. Just really liked how the gray is highlighted by this black on this page, and it just, like I know I've said it before, but the designers are just really very thoughtful with how they do collections and how things coordinate, and the colors just seem to fit very nicely. Okay. Now on this side of the page, we also have 3 mats again. And roughly here is where they're going to go on this side. I do have our bike club embellishment that's going to go down here, along with a couple of gears from our sticker set as well. Let's flip these over. This one, the sketch was just a little bit, I don't know if I want to say simpler, but it feels a little bit simpler compared to some of the other layouts I've been doing recently. I know we've also had a couple of the craft challenge videos, so it's kind of nice to go back to the basics a little bit more here. Just have a beautiful, simple layout with 3 photos on each side of our page. You could definitely fit in a 4th if you want, or you can use a peekaboo pocket, or however you want to do it. But we'll pop this one up as well, which is one of our larger foam squares here. And then I know I've also shown some with the tulips and the sunflowers, just some more intricate pages as well. But I think with introducing my What is Scrapbooking series and talking about how to get started with scrapbooking, this is just one of those layouts that seems to be really good for a beginning scrapbooker. Okay, let me pull out my multi-purpose tool, because on these gears from the sticker set, there are some little pieces here that need to pop through, so that way you have it actually looking like a gear. Let's see if I can get these off. They're going to stick to my finger. I have one that fell on the mat and one that's behind the sticker here. Let me get that off so that it doesn't prevent our sticker from actually sticking to our page. Oh, all right. Let's stick that one down. Hang on, we're going to create a little bit of a cluster here with this gray one. Hang on. Gotta try to get these off my finger now. Well, I still have one, but you know what? I guess we have 2 more gears to go. So if I have one that stayed behind, I still have to work with getting these other ones going too. So chances are I'm going to wind up with more stuck to me here. Maybe I should wait until the end to take care of all the little bits here. But we're going to go ahead and angle this one up a little bit. It's going to go over just this edge of our mat here, which I will hold closer to the camera in just a moment for you all to see up close. Well, and that way it shouldn't interfere with our photo, but you know what? If we put our photo over just that little edge of the gear, I think you'll still be able to tell it's gear with it being layered there. And I had another one that flipped behind our sticker here. Here we go. Oops. Okay. All right. I think I have my mouth stuck on both hands. It's okay. This one's going in here. At least I knew where I wanted to put it. It just was a matter of getting it sorted out here. I've got my hands all cleaned up from all those little gear pieces. I guess we could have used them as an accent piece. If you want to use those little inside parts from your gears, you can. You can throw them into these gears if you want, or somewhere scattered through your page. It's up to you. I opted not to. They went into the trash. So it is what it is. So right side of our page is here, and this is my overlap I was talking about. You can see it's just ever so slightly, but I think it's not going to interfere with our photo at all. And then our bottom embellishment up on a foam square. Let me move everything out of the way so I can show you our 2 pages side by side and bring back in our sketch. Here's our 2 pages side by side. And here is our sketch that inspired this layout. The circle kind of what inspired me to pick the bike club embellishment for the bottom of the page. And then you just see where they layered paper and what looks like one of our laser cut borders. And I thought, I think I did wind up simplifying it just a little, but by using that scallop blade, it added a little extra as well. And then working with the paper that we're using for our base can also help you as well. So let me know what you think. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked this layout. I will grab my card we're going to put together as well. That's one of the other things I've been doing with this 101 scrapbooking challenge, scrapbooking idea and sketchbook challenge, using up some of our scraps. We're just taking inspiration from the sketch to do both the page layout, mostly 2-page layouts, and a card. So let's get our card going. I've grabbed one of our blank cards from our card kit. I always double check to make sure I have it, the direction somebody will open the card. And I had a scrap from when we cut those borders using our stamping blade on the layout. And this is that tire tread paper that has the gears on the opposite side. I went ahead and I cut the opposite end of it. So you can see my ends don't exactly match this time. I'll grab a piece of paper here so that way you all can see. You can see where it's indented on one side and out on the other. And this was partially just me not remembering exactly which way my blade was in when I did this cut, or which end of my paper was up, because I did the layout a different day than I did the card than what I'm filming. And I think it's okay for the card. I on the borders I did for the layout, I made sure that they were all on the bumpy end out. so that they matched and flowed nicely on the page with the card. We're going to put our card this way. So I think it's okay to have it with the two different looks to it. That's, again, just like I said, one of those things with our decorative blades, you just need to keep in mind when you work with those. We're going to use our gears side up this time. You reinforce my paper just a little bit. I have been working to make sure that my cards don't get floppy where people are going to be opening them. And this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece. And I did leave the two edges straight on this paper because that 1/8 of an inch strip that we took off at the beginning to start our scalloped blade look is this one. Or it's about, maybe about a quarter. Let me take a look here real quick. Yep, I took off 1/4 of an inch when I started the scallop blade. And you always have a straight edge of a paper, or one edge is going to be straight because your paper is square when you start it, and then when you go to cut it the first time, you need to take off a little bit so that way you have that decorative edge, and of course you wind up with a scrap that comes off as well. I'll explain that more in my trimmer intro, which is going to be part of that What is Scrapbooking series, but it's going to be a future episode that I planned for that one. Okay, so these are going to just line up on the sides of my card. So I cut these to 4 1/4. So it's 4 1/4 by 1/4 of an inch. Roughly whatever I cut off is what I'm using. It's a great way to use up this scrap. I think a lot of people just get rid of it, and it's nice to, you can actually use it on your cards as well, and you can see it flows nicely with our other part here. And it's, again, where I'm liking both sides of this paper, to be able to use both sides is always a plus. Now with this collection, we also have clear stickers. So I pulled out this tire tread from that clear sticker set. Oops, and we're going to use it on our card here, going up towards the corner of our card. I'm putting it down first because I picked a larger embellishment from our off-road embellishment pack. Remember how I said we have several embellishment packs that go with this collection? One was the motorcycle that we used with our page layout. This one is the off-road. And this is going to layer over the edge of our tire tracks. And you can see we have this tire right here that, maybe that's what's creating that extra little skid. And I found a couple of splotches. There's some brown splotches. There's some black splotches on these clear stickers. And I thought, well, let's make use of some splotches as well. I'm sure they're supposed to be like mud dots or something. So I'm going to put the black one closer to the, underneath here as well. And then the brown is going to come a little bit further out from it. So that way it looks like, because this bottom part has this brown writing, there's black underneath. So you never know what you can combine sometimes. But there's our card. I thought it might be fun if you have like friends you want to invite to do some foil wheeling or some off-roading. And you could send them this card, hand them a card. Or if you've taken pictures on one of your day adventures with a friend, you can throw some pictures in here and a note and let them know how much you enjoyed spending time with them. But that's it. That's it for our sketch with me for the Revved Up collection. I hope you all enjoyed seeing this edition. Like I said, probably better for some of the newer scrapbookers, or maybe inspire some of my regular scrapbookers to get back to scrapbooking with a nice approachable layout and card. Turns out we have a second card for our Revved Up scraps and collection here. I was going to film my next video, and realized I already had a card designed. So we get a couple interpretations of a card with Revved Up using some of our scraps. This is a 1.5 by 4.25 piece. I have 2 of them from the paper scrap that we used to cut our 4.25 by 6.25 mats. We always have the 1.5-inch strips that we take off first to make it easier to cut those from one sheet of paper. If anybody would like me to do a short or another video showing that, please just leave me a comment and let me know. I have shown it in other videos. This also is the other part of the gears and tire tread paper that had the piece cut out with the stamping blade. And so this one actually matches the one that we had on our other one. We do have some tread that's inset and some that's out. Let me grab my zero centering ruler. This one is 4.25 by 4.25 for the piece of paper here. Hang on, our card is 5.5, so it should fall at the 2 3/4 marks on our zero centering ruler. And if this is 4.25, we should have it at 2 1/8. Yes. To go through the center of our card. And then it looks like I grabbed some car show embellishments for this one, which is a little bit of a homage to where we're getting ready to move to in Pennsylvania. I hear that they have quite a few car shows there. So maybe I will give this to somebody who is going to a car show or wants to invite somebody to one. But I just thought it was kind of a fun thing to put together and use up a few more scraps. So here we go. A quick card overall to put together. All right, hope y'all enjoyed your bonus card. Until next time.